Welcome to Jets Gameday with Robert Saleh, presented by Audi. Here's your host, Eric Allen.
The Jets are back in prime time in Week 4. The reigning Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs will be at MetLife Stadium for some Sunday night football. I've got some primetime performers in the studio. Brian Baldner, Bart Scott. Bart, these opportunities are what you live for as a player.
Oh, absolutely. When you talk about having an opportunity to play in front of all your peers Sunday night football, it's an opportunity to prove to the NFL who you are and what you stand for. They're going to be tested to the nth degree. They're going against the Super Bowl champions that's starting to find their footing. It is no easy days off in the NFL, and this day is especially difficult.
Baldy, let's go back to Week 1. The Jets displayed great complementary football. This is what they're going to have to do against the Kansas City Chiefs in order to give themselves a chance.
Well, you do. You have to take possessions away from Patrick Mahomes and that offense. You got to find a way. Anticipate that Mahomes is going to give you a chance for 2. The ball's on the ground. It's got to be your ball. You got to find a way to take possessions away from Mahomes, one way or the other. And it starts with the defense.
All right, fellas, let's go inside the numbers. We're presented by the New York Lottery. As always, Baldy, you're starting off.
Okay.
We're going to go number 1 with the mullet. Yeah. Joe Tippmann made his first professional start against New England. What did you think?
Look, anytime you start off in a position that you're not really familiar with and you get a chance to go play, like he played. 4th and 1, they ran right behind Joe Tippmann. He got movement off the ball. I felt as the game went on, he got more and more comfortable. I just thought Joe handled himself well. You saw the effort. You saw some good technique. I think for the first start, hey, good. He got 1 under his belt. Now go get 200 more.
It's something to build off of, no doubt about that. Let's give an honorary mention to Nick Bowden, his first career touchdown, a former college quarterback. Bart, number 7, that goes to Quinnen Williams, a career-high 7 quarterback pressures against the Pats.
Right, you talk about pressures, and sometimes you don't get the sack, but pressure speeding up the process, allowing your DBs to be able to have time to cover because of the quick clock in the quarterback's head. They're going to need a lot more of that this week when you consider they're going against arguably the best quarterback of this generation. So you're talking about, it's not been so much of what Patrick Mahomes has been doing with his arms. He's also added the element of running with his legs. So you talk about being able to be disciplined within your rush gaps, being able to retrace if you're the defensive ends, not getting too far past quarterback depth is going to be key. Trying to keep Patrick Mahomes contained and making him throw the ball from the pocket, because when he gets out in space, that's when he makes those off-schedule plays, but also, even though he's not fast, he becomes a dual threat.
Baldy, let's get to our third number right now. That is 36. Since C.J. Mosley entered the National Football League in 2014, 36 games of 10-plus tackles. That's tied for second.
Well, there is a benefit to being, a film junkie. C.J. knows where the ball is going. He's 2 steps ahead. He's telling everybody where to line up. There's a reason why he wears the green dot. He's the quarterback of the defense. And the one thing I love about C.J. Mosley is, regardless of the score, he's never looking at the scoreboard. He's just playing the next play, and he's trying to impact the game. It's a credit to how he plays and how he prepares.
All right, our next play is, let's find out what's brewing with Caroline Hendershot and Ethan Greenberg.
It's time for What's Brewing, presented by Dunkin'. The Jets run on Dunkin'.
Ethan, Dwayne Brown goes to IR on Saturday, so the offensive line had a lot of moving pieces.
But can we talk about a constant, Laken Tomlinson? 100 consecutive starts now in the NFL for Laken. Great job. Hold the applause, because not only that, he was first among guards in pass block win rate in the NFL in Week 3. Clap it up for Laken.
Laken, huge. Love that for him. Let's go to the other side of the ball. Jets defense, specifically second half. They're the only team in the NFL to have not allowed a touchdown in the second half. And for what it's worth, the Chiefs' high-powered offense ranks 26th in second-half points per game.
That's a great stat. Everyone knows about the Chiefs' offense. I want to talk about the Chiefs' defense. Okay. 1, they rank top 10 in nearly every category in the NFL. 2, they have a premier interior defensive tackle, kind of like the Jets. But that's Chris Jones for the Kansas City Chiefs. He didn't play early in the season, signed his contract, second-rated D tackle on Pro Football Focus throughout the year.
Yeah, it's going to be a big matchup Sunday night.
Coming up, Eric Allen will sit down with Jets head coach Robert Saleh.
Jets Game Day with Robert Saleh is presented by Audi. Visit your tri-state Audi dealer to get behind the wheel of yours today, or visit AudiOffers.com for more information.
They've got 2 defensive backs inside their own 10-yard line. Wilson back to throw. Floats out to his right. Sets up. Heaves one the length of the field. It'll be a jump ball on the Hail Mary in the end zone. Batted around and falls incomplete. At the goal line on the carom, it went through the arms of Randall Cobb. He had a chance at the goal line to catch the miracle, and the Jets come up just short.
What's the message to the guys after the Hail Mary falls incomplete and you guys are 1-2?
Continue to support one another. We've got a good football team, and we had our opportunities last week, and we're going to have opportunities again this week to keep each other's back and keep moving forward.
Can you talk about the challenge of forging an offensive identity?
It's always tough. Like I said, you got a new play caller, a lot of new players on the offensive line. We're shuffling people, got new receivers, and so you're trying to figure out how to best utilize everyone. You're adjusting everything on the fly, but at the same time, I think, between the players and the staff, everyone's working really hard to try to get this figured out. You saw a little bit of it, a glimpse of it in the fourth quarter. It felt like our offense was starting to pick up. I don't know if there was a person on the sideline that didn't think we were going to win when we had the ball at midfield with 1:40 to go, but like I said, it's a process. Hopefully we can continue to find ways to take advantage and move the ball and score points.
What's it like on a Monday when you watch Zach fire that third down completion to Alan Lazard, or you review that drive where he goes 7-10 on that possession that culminates on the touchdown by Nick Bowden?
A lot of good stuff, a lot of things that we need to improve on. It's always going to be that way, win, lose, or draw. He showed a lot of good things, especially in that fourth quarter, and a couple of things that we need to get better at. And, it's continuing to find the things that he's good with, comfortable with, find things that the receivers are good with, the O-line's good with, the running backs, and find ways to coach it a lot better and execute it a lot better and see if we can get it going for 4 quarters.
What does that say about him mentally, the way he stuck with it, though?
I think, like I said, I think he's so much further along than he was a year ago from a mental standpoint. He's throwing really good, accurate passes, especially when he's in timing and rhythm and has the protection that that we're looking for. And we got to continue to communicate, not only as players but as coaches, to find what the offense can excel at. And as we continue to build this thing, we'll continue to find ways to get better.
What do you hope Trevor Siemian, a veteran presence, adds to that room?
Yeah, he's a good young man. We played him last year. He's a veteran quarterback, has a lot of games under his belt. He's a really good dude from my understanding, and he's going to be a welcome addition to that room.
Can you talk about, I think, something that flew under the radar Sunday, all that offensive line shuffling, how those 3 guys did? Let's start with Mekhi Becton switching back to the left tackle.
Yeah, thought Mekhi did pretty good. Obviously, he had the one play in the fourth quarter that I know he wishes he had back, but I thought he held up pretty well. Felt like Joe Tippmann did a really nice job in his first start, a really nice job. And he may not always win the physical battle at this young stage in his career. He's going to win, but with effort and strain, and he's going to get stronger, he's going to get better, he's going to get more knowledgeable on how to play on the interior and the game within the game that's played with D linemen. So really excited about him. He's going to be a good player for a while. And then obviously ABT, thought he slid out there and looked so comfortable at right tackle. He's a gifted young man, and we're glad we have him.
Breece Hall, will his pitch count continue to increase as the season progresses?
For sure. I don't even know if he's on a pitch count anymore, to be honest with you. He's, he looks comfortable out there. I still don't want to overload guys, and it's the beauty of having the backfield and the players that we have. I don't think anyone needs to be the single bell cow, but at the same time, feeling comfortable to get him in there, get him the ball, and let him tote the rock as many times as possible. We got him a lot more touches last week. Now we got to find a way to get him more production.
Let's go to the other side of the ball. Has Quincy Williams taken his game to the next level?
He has. We'll knock on wood on that one. He's coming to his own, and same thing. It's important to him. He plays his tail off. Obviously, he's got great length, speed, explosiveness. It's always been our philosophy that if you can put a guy on repeat over and over and over again and just let him do the same 3 or 4 things over and over again, they can become really good. And he's like the perfect example. He's a 3rd-round pick, gets cut, comes here, and he's just been lights out.
What does it say about the defense that people are asking you questions about them when you give up 13 points and you give yourself an opportunity to win a game?
For sure, that's the standard. You want to pitch a shutout. You had the really bad play on the big touchdown that we wish we had back, but I'm still proud of the defense. To hold an NFL team to 13 points is not easy. 15, include the safety, but they play hard. They play for each other. They're selfless in the fact that they go out there and they just ball with the mindset to get the ball back for the offense. There's no whining, there's no complaining. It's just a special group to be around.
You've been doing this for a long time. You've had some battles against Andy Reid. When you think about him, what stands out? Now he's 4th all time in terms of victories as a head coach.
It's always an adventure because you're always going to see about 20 plays that you never saw on tape. They're always drawing, I feel like they just draw stuff in the dirt and they throw it on the tape, and it's like guys just running all over the place. It's fun to watch, not fun to play against, but you know, it's going to be a fun challenge. I think our guys will be up for it.
Kelsey.
Stud. He's an absolute stud. He is the heartbeat of that team, I feel like, especially on the offensive side of the ball. His juice, his energy, his playmaking ability, his strain, the volume at which he plays on the silent tape is pretty cool.
What's it like competing against Patrick Mahomes? In the past, you said he's relentless.
He's a nightmare because he is the ultimate. You know, it's like talking about Josh Allen. You know, you got the first play, and then you got the second play, and you got the second play. So you got the first play in rhythm, and then the second play, which is off schedule, which is no defense for. And so we got to be really, really cognizant of where we are in our rush lanes. We've got to be cognizant of where we are on the field in coverage. And you know, forever with Andy, it's been put the fastest humans in the world on the field and run as far as you can, and then Mahomes will throw it to you. You know, so his formula works for him, and you know, we just got to find a way to combat it.
Thanks, Coach.
You got it.
This exclusive interview with Robert Saleh was presented by Audi. Visit your tri-state Audi dealer to get behind the wheel of yours today, or visit AudiOffers.com for more information.
Coming up, Bart Scott and Brian Baldinger will break down the key matchups for Sunday Night Football.
This is what teams have to go through. You know, there's adversity points in every season. This year it's happening early, and people are coming for us, whether we're having success or not having success. It doesn't mean you're winning all the time and you got to handle it the right way. It's when we're not having success, how do we respond? How do we respond in adversity? Anybody can beat anybody. It's a home game. It's Sunday Night Football. It's an opportunity for us to go out there and show what we're all about. Let's support our guys. Let's support the boys on the field. Let's stick with our guys, and let's have a little belief. Let's be loud. Let's get that thing going, and never know who we're going to see at the game.
This film breakdown is brought to you by your local Kia dealers. Visit kia.com to discover movement that inspires.
All right, let's dive into some film right now with Brian Baldinger and Bart Scott. Baldy, we're starting off with you, with the best player in the National Football League, Patrick Mahomes. He's a 2-time Super Bowl MVP, a 2-time NFL MVP.
He is, and his favorite target is right here, Travis Kelce. And you got to know where he's at all times in all situations, because right here, he's going to give you a little indicator right here. He wants to find out if they're in man or if they're in quarters. And so now right here, it's a third down play here. Yeah, he's going to run this little stop route right here. All right, and that's the initial route. So when you watch it, there he is. And now Mahomes is on the move right here. And you can see right here that Jacksonville's got two players spying right here, Kelce and Mahomes. They both got their eyes on him. So what does Kelce do? He sees this, and he's going to slip behind here. And Mahomes is going to see him as he slips behind, and he's going to make this throw right here. So you have to know the play, and then you have to know the play after the play. Like there he is in the end zone. And they do this over and over again. There's a play for the X's and O's, and then there's the play after that, off the breakdown, and after the initial play is over. And they're so good at doing it. So you always have to plaster these guys, Bart, at all times. You got to feel it. Even if you're in zone, you got to feel it because it's coming.
Mahomes is a problem for any defense. One of the guys that you think could be pivotal Sunday night for the Jets is a linebacker who continues to emerge, Quincy Williams.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you're opposite a 5-time Pro Bowler, you're going to get a lot of action. It's like being opposite a all-pro corner in Sauce. The opposite corner is going to get the favorable matchups of what they believe. And that's exactly what Bill Belichick thought he had last week when they had to have it on a pivotal third down play late in the game to try and extend the drive, to try and run the clock out. They want to try and isolate Quincy Williams. He's a guy that's emerging as a young star, but he's still green and unproven as far as making big plays. And they decided to try and isolate to see if he'll take the cheese by stepping up on Ramondre Stevenson with the drive route coming behind it. He did a tremendous job in passing these routes and also getting his head on the other side in front to close the door. Same leg, same shoulder, and then you're able to make sure that you can bring guys down in space. That's a lost art, and he did a tremendous job in making a big play And if he continues to do that, they'll go away from him in pivotal moments because they know he's capable of making a play.
You guys had nothing but good intentions inside the film room today. Great stuff.
Don't go anywhere. Bart and Baldy will put their coaching hats on and deliver the winning game plans.
Jets Game Day with Robert Saleh is brought to you by MetLife, the official insurance company of the New York Jets. This segment is presented by the official digital transformation partner of the New York Jets, HCL Tech, supercharging progress.
Welcome back to Jets Game Day with Robert Saleh. Week 4 of the Fantasy Corner. Ethan, Jets, Chiefs, who we got?
Well, for our first blank space, let's go with somebody that NFL fans know all too well. That's Travis Kelce. Look, I'm not proud of it either. I am not a Swiftie, but you got to shake it off. You got to lock in. I just needed one more. Here's the thing. Travis Kelce coming off a big game last week against the Bears. He had a touchdown.
Kelce did miss week 1, but PFF still has him as the 3rd highest receiving grade of all tight ends with a 75.2, so just something to keep in mind. All right, let's go to our next one. What do you think of this?
I think that we're looking at a buy one, get one.
We are, kind of. It's the Jets defense and special teams. Now, I know that the Chiefs offense has a big reputation, 26 points per game. However, Jets defense are mean. They have not allowed more than 20 points in a home game the last 6 home games. And you might get a little extra something special on special teams with Xavier Gibson.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but you should be feeling 82 here with Xavier Gibson. 3rd in the NFL in punt return average, 4th in kickoff return average. This guy's electric. If he breaks one, that's points on your fantasy team.
We hope this helped you set your lineups because we have been waiting all day for Sunday night.
Today's game plan is presented by the official digital transformation partner of the New York Jets, HCL Tech, supercharging progress.
All right, let's get into our game plans now with Baldy and Bart. Baldy, how can the Jets jumpstart this offense against a very underrated Chiefs defense that I think is elite?
I think they're the best defense in football. And so, because of their talent level, and I think their corners right now, Trent McDuffie and L'Jarius Sneed, are playing as well as any tandem of corners in football. Your receivers have got to beat press man coverage. And then you got to anticipate the blitzes are coming. It's Spags. That's what he does. He's got a million pressures, so you got to protect up front. But the way that you always beat a blitzing team is be able to run the ball. They got to run the ball better than they have all year, and you got to be able to possess the ball. But at the same time, you got to take your shots. Chicago took some shots last week. The receivers came up short.
Bart, let's go to the other side of the ball. The Jets defense continues to play at a high level, but they'll step up in class today against the Kansas City Chiefs and Super Bowl MVP Patrick Mahomes, and of course, Travis Kelce.
Well, first of all, it may sound weird, but you have to spy Patrick Mahomes when you have 4-man rushes because you have to have gap and rush integrity. So I have a spy there, so when he decides to run, you have somebody that can run him down and then lay the boom on him so that he gets that physicality so it makes him reluctant to run. Secondly, it's about styles, right? And it's about matchups. I'm going to put sauce on Travis Kelce, and I'm going to put that size and that length on him. He may not have the power, but he has the defense radius to be able to match Travis Kelce, make it difficult for him to get off the ball. And when I don't have sauce on him, I'm going to bracket him with the safety and the linebacker inside and out, and also give him a little hamburger helper by my defensive end. No matter even if he splits all away from the line a little bit, I'm still going to give my defensive end a hit, and then it turns into a stunt, a U game later because I'm going to have my tackle
no
pop
easy
up
releases.
the field. Exactly.
No free releases.
Exactly. And you have to make it confusing because if you give them a dose of the same thing, they're going to make the adjustment on the sideline. So you have to keep them guessing about how you're checking Travis Kelce.
How important is it for the Jets to get off to a better early start? I know that's easy to say, but so far during 3 games, they've faced double-digit deficits.
You got to keep the game close. It's like you just can't let them go down the field and score. You know, you've got to challenge them. You got to get off the field on 3rd down. You let them possess the ball, convert 3rd down, sustain offense, they'll find a way in the red zone. So you got to challenge them on 3rd down, and you got to make Patrick Mahomes chase him, make him throw it into the stands, make him punt. You just got to win your 3rd down.
Primetime efforts from Brian Baldinger, Bart Scott, Caroline Hendershot, Ethan Greenberg. Enjoy your football Sunday.